But I mean, at the same time, like I said, when you do, you know, I
You
mean,
got a water main buried at one
you
night.
kind of stuck between a rock and a hard
2050
place,
after
but
completion of probation,
you can't very well
1 year, 56 hours.
clearly state in this is that the police chief is the one to set the hours and whatnot. What it says in the policy in the employee manual,
What?
that the police chief is the one that sets the,
Well, on his offer in this little book, it says comp time is capped at 80 hours. Loggers, health insurance.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's really been followed for the last 10 years.
Yeah. Use of
I mean, not just the police department either.
No, all of them.
Right.
You know, if it's capped at 80 and they're supposed to be paid out 30 days after they did it over 80, then
Well, and we talked about, one time, okay, I guess we need to, no, we're in open sessions.
right.
We're, okay. At one time it was talked about paying out the comp time, getting everybody back down. That's one
Yeah, and
way,
we figured
but-
that up at 26,000.
Well, I think it's 20, well, yeah, probably 26,
Everybody a week
27
off?
is in my mind.
Do what?
Everybody a week off, I don't know what to say, I mean, it's still only 40 hours.
I'm not finding anything to amend that.
So that's what? They get 56 hours vacation.
That's because they have to work holidays and they get more vacation hours. But now, they don't have, they get paid, I mean, they don't have to work it, and they still get more vacation.
That's a full week, 56 hours, a full 7 days.
Okay, but we need to go back to,
I think it's page 20 would be the on-call, callback compensation.
right,
And we have it worded in there, 8 hours of paid for on-call, 4 hours for wastewater.
okay.
And I agree, I think that we should bump that down to 4 hours for the on-call duty. And then they get their time plus, right? And that's for all departments that are on call.
And
Terry, do you have in your notes on page 20?
Page 20, it says on the on-call to use old page 7. Old page 7.
that's where we said,
Callback time for emergency after hours shall be 1 hour paid time plus actual time worked.
and I think that's what streets would be on.
Yeah, that's for call back, not
That's
on.
called, yeah.
Yeah, not on call. On call would be the wastewater, water, and
In case we had a storm and they had a whole bunch of trees down and they needed to,
electric, yes.
yeah, we got wastewater,
So we've got on-call time, we've got call out and call back,
uh-huh.
but wouldn't call back and call out be the same?
No, on call and call back is not the same.
No, on-call, they get it whether they do anything or
Right.
not.
Yes.
And then call
back,
out is the 1 hour paid time plus actual time worked.
which would be the same thing as call
Call
back.
back.
Yes.
Yes.
Because I know a lot of, when they're on call, it's not always an emergency,
Right.
even though 911 may call them, but there's more than one time it didn't have to be done right then.
Should
So-
be.
My notes at one point, you had said make electric, water, and wastewater instead of public safety and public works, and then you had me scratch that out.
Electric, water and sewer and wastewater should be the ones on call.
On call, yeah, that's what you had said, and then you came back and said, no, just scratch that out.
Well, why did we do that? Did you
I
write
don't
that
know.
note down?
I don't ask why, mine is just the,
We did put down as public works, water, electric, and waste as a classification description, is what I got with me.
okay, so public works, you want those three things listed.
But do we want to add the, let's see, we got
The
water,
streets are the
electric.
ones that get called out though, aren't they?
What?
The street has to get blocked off or?
No, that's just in,
That was-
rising water or storm.
That would
So-
be call it.
Well, now winter weather,
Well,
they
they-
get called
of
in for
course.
something
Call
like
in.
that, but they
Call
don't,
out.
they don't normally get called in as often as the other ones would anyways. Those would be for like an actual emergency, for like
You know, like snowstorm or the streets,
a
so they
tree
would
over
be
the
called.
street, or, because
I'd
if the
say,
electric line was down over the street, they wouldn't call streets, they'd call the electric department.
Call the street to block off the street though.
but I've seen,
That's
electric,
creativeness.
And like.
Electric-
Typically, it's the police that block off the street
Yes.
for a down line.
Yes, but they also call out the street sometimes. I mean, it's just happened is what I'm saying.
But do
Doesn't
we need them?
necessarily need it.
Do we need streets to be called to block off the road, or can electric put some cones up and block it off themselves?
they got the cones on the back of the trucks.
We need to make sure that they're aware of that. Because that's just too, that's paying double for somebody to put
Like I
cones
say,
out.
There's a lot of things that need to be.
Well, here we go, let's change them. That's what we're here to do, let's
This
just
is
change them.
for.
Okay, so on this, is everybody in agreement changing it to the 4 hours for all public works departments? Instead
I'll
of the
make a
8?
motion on that. That's what we need to do, make a
That's
motion
what
on
I've
it.
got written down.
Huh?
This is, we need to
That's
make a
your work
motion
schedule.
that is all done.
Okay,
Individual
Okay.
motion for each one of these things.
I was gonna say, we're gonna be,
Public works.
so we're gonna have four,
We're just changing it.
So it'd be under public works now is what they'd be under?
4-hour comp time
We
for,
need, that's back over here, this organizational chart, that's where that will be addressed, who is public works and who is.
Okay.
so 4-hour comp time for electric, water, sewer, and
That's it.
And you want that put in
And
page
wastewater.
20?
pardon?
Yes.
You want that put in page 20
20,
in the new one?
yes.
Okay, but we still got to figure out how we're gonna do streets, because would they be considered just a call,
On-call.
on-call?
No,
Or-
call back.
Call back, yes.
Okay, so if they got called back, would they be entitled to the 4 hours plus their
No,
hours?
it says
or-
here, they get entitled to 1 hour
So they get the 1 hour.
plus
So
what they
we
work.
just don't need anyone on call for the streets,
Right,
anytime.
no.
Until needed for like winter weather, or
But they're not on call, that's just call back.
that's just a call back. So they get paid an hour to be called back, and the time that they're
Any
on the
call
call.
back during their scheduled work week shall be entitled to 2 hours per call plus time work.
And we could raise that 1 hour up if you think they deserve more than 1 hour. It's up to you guys.
I mean,
What do you think, Calvin?
Well, I think I wouldn't want to come in for 1 hour.
Well, I was gonna say, okay, take it streets, they get called in, so maybe we should move that. If they get called back, they get a 4 hour.
4 hour plus their time if they
Yes.
get called back.
I'm just still wondering personally why streets need to be called back.
no?
Well, in an
Saturday and
emergency
Sunday.
for, if we got a snowstorm.
Starts snowing.
Well, okay, well, you're talking about,
Yeah, that's what we
you're
meant.
talking about plowing the streets then.
Right.
That, or if a tree went across the road, and why would you call
But,
electric? You call
but
street
you know,
sweeper.
this,
I mean,
trees, I could understand a big storm, but even on my neighborhood out there, if a tree limb blows across, everybody grabs a chainsaw and they
Yeah.
go out
Well,
and cut it
yeah,
off.
that's.
I mean, it would have to be like an emergency situation that they had to clear it out immediately because of a health situation, or, I mean, it would have to actually be a big emergency, because everybody does cut it up. If it fell across my road, we'd cut it up, move it ourselves. But the only time they would probably need to be called in is just the winter. Like
But
to
the way
solve
they
load.
used to work that on streets, if they knew snow was coming in, they all took off work early because they knew they was gonna have to come back in and start plowing at 7 o'clock. So what do you do?
Yeah, but then
Come on,
there's
Cal,
going to
quit
be.
waving your hand.
Yeah, but this is Missouri, we have freaky weather. They can say we're gonna get a spitting of snow and it be 8 inches. So what if they didn't take off that week because there was no snow in the forecast and we had little freak snow come through, and 'cause I've
Well,
seen
they
that
just-
happen.
They just get called back.
Well, yeah, the callback would work for
Right.
any emergency
Right.
after hours of the time. I'd say leave that,
So just leave
One
the
hour, yeah.
hour
You're
compensation.
just changing the on-call for the other three to 4 hours instead of 8, correct?
Yeah, there, I'm sorry, if I'm in southern Arkansas and I'm working with the street department, you call me back because there's a winter storm, it's gonna be a while before I get here. So something needs to be put in there, like November till November, December, January, February, March, those 5 months out of the year.
But they're
on
during
call.
their scheduled work week.
Well, that's an, that is scheduled work week is
You wouldn't be
40
in
hour week.
Arkansas.
But if they're down there in Arkansas on a Saturday, we get an 8 inches of snow on a Saturday at 1 o'clock, somebody's gonna want their street plowed, I'll guarantee it.
Well, out of 2 people in the street, surely one of them would be close by, because that would make both of them be eligible to be called in.
So maybe we need to put that in the job description for streets and not specifically on this?
Well, we can't discriminate against employees, treat employees any
Because they both have to have, well, they need CDLs, and if they both have CDLs, then they're both can drive the salt truck and the plow. So if, let's say John, we're just gonna make up a name, John was in Arkansas, but Bill was up here, well, we call Bill in, because he would be our closest one to get in.
You gotta have a CDL, but I think they require anymore that you have an approval for driving a dump truck for a snow plow, I think. I'm almost positive.
Arnie's got a class B, and he can drive one.
Well, and you could
Yes.
just leave the 4
Yeah, I mean,
hours
that's
on for all
fine,
of
but
them.
the thing is I think that they
Not-
pass.
And keep streets on there, I mean, that's reducing it somewhat, and then leaving the callback as it is.
Yeah. We changed the comp time to 4 hours for the service people. And leaving the callback the same,
Yeah.
okay? I forget that.
For right now, I mean, we might address that after we see more, but that would be for the 4 that are on call now,
It's gonna
change
take-
that to 4.
Yeah, because it's gonna take it down to, I mean, we're gonna
Cut it
save
in
8
half.
hours.
Okay. So change that, 4 hours on call, public works, and that's the 4 departments that we've got there right now,
Electric, water, sewer, and wastewater.
Streets.
and streets.
What she's saying is if we did streets, then we wouldn't have to,
We won't have to change so many different things.
and we're
We'll have
still saving 8 hours by doing it this way, even without taking the streets off.
Because,
It's either that or you have to differentiate the seasons
yeah,
in here. Because, I mean, Calvin's not wrong on it, you're gonna have to have an on-call during the winter time.
During seasonal,
Mm-hmm.
you have to make it a seasonal
and
thing.
by the time all of this gets approved and out to departments, it's gonna be fall, so.
March.
We'll be looking at winter right away.
Of what year?
Yeah,
This year. Are
Let's
you
hope
sure?
so.
Yes.
That I'm sure.
Could be
Okay.
27, 28.
So we just changed the 8 to 4 on this.
Okay.
Okay. Now we gotta get, are we paying up this
Does
overtime?
that
Because
take
right
care
now,
of that, the COPA, that's the one that we was talking about, the overtime? So
yeah, that,
we want to wait.
yeah, because according to the old one, Jamie's right.
Yeah.
But that would apply to everybody. And it's not been. We've made them take comp time. And this new one says they get to choose.
I think
The old
they
one
could
doesn't
choose
address
that.
comp time
I
at
think-
all,
I
it's
say
just
take-
overtime.
I say comp time. And
And
they
to
don't
take
get
it
to
off
choose.
within 30 days, does it say what? Doesn't say what happens if they don't.
I still wanna know why we have overtime.
Well, why would you have overtime and comp time both? I mean, that's something I never understood. Because if you were getting comp time, you wouldn't be paid overtime.
Oh, wait a minute. Right here it says, okay. Police department shall work the schedule established by chief. Police officers shall be paid at straight time for 40 hours. After 40 hours, they will receive compensatory straight time and 43 hours of compensatory time at time and 1/2. Isn't that comp time, compensatory?
That's what,
That's in the old book, right here on page 7.
But-
That would be comp
But
time.
that's not,
That doesn't say overtime, it says compensatory, which is comp time,
That's the way that I read it too.
compensatory straight time.
right?
But
Yeah, that's what it
compensatory
said
straight
before.
time is just,
That's what that needs going by.
Because that would be comp time.
well, but the straight time and the time at 1.5 is the difference on those two.
So what's the difference between the two? Like,
Okay, if they were paid after 40 hours, if they work 42 hours,
it's
they're gonna
just
get 42 hours at $20.50 for 42 hours.
comp time though,
So those 2 hours, they would get paid
Straight.
straight time.
So
Straight time.
Compensatory straight time and compensatory time and a half.
So compensatory is overtime.
That doesn't mean comp time, that just means
Overtime.
compensated at.
Okay, that's,
That's in the old book.
yes.
The old book does not address comp time. Does it?
It says time and a half.
It calls it overtime and time and a half, but it never calls it
Comp time.
comp time.
But
Just
the
the
$10,000
overtime.
question is, will Jamie let us change it to comp time?
It's page,
If we decide.
Well,
to
it
do
says here,
comp
it
time.
says, in other words, 3 hours. There's a difference between 40 and 43. In other words, if you work 43, anything over 43 turns into time and a half. Anything under 43 is
Straight time.
Yeah.
That's what it has been for years
Well,
until,
that's what it's written here.
right.
Yeah,
I mean, she just, I mean, that's what she read to me. That was what I said. The police chief is the one that, that's the way it's always been. That they're the ones that
And then they
punch
changed
it
it.
in.
Then they changed it in this new thing that Jamie wrote up.
Well, Murphy suggests, our insurance company suggests that anything over 80 hours, we just pay them time and a half. And so that would mean, that would put us under the gun. In other words, we need to make sure that they only get 35 hours of comp time. And then when they get up to a certain number of hours on comp time, they just take it. Murphy suggests to be able, and when you think about this, if we allow them to get 140 hours worth of comp time, it's the same as overtime. I realize that. You're just gonna be without an employee then until you get it down to 80 hours. But then we need to get it below 80 so we've got some room to work with. And so we can't change the 80 as far as I know.
In my books, if you get up to, say, 80 hours and you work 4 over, then you come in for half a day the next day.
Well, you have to take it within 30 days.
Right.
But the problem is, nobody has made sure anybody has
I
ever
know.
done that. And you and I both know that in the last 20 years, there's been such an abuse of the system, it's unreal.
So, okay, we're getting away from the handbook, but with our comp time that we have right now, we have departments that are slower right now or have that time to start taking off half-days, correct?
Well, I would think so, yes. They may not think so, but
Can we not enforce that?
I'm sure it's always been left up to the supervisors.
Because I
As
mean,
it does say.
some of the comp time is not, we can't do anything. It's justified. You know, we've got one person specifically I'm talking about, it's justified. He has not had the time to take off until recently,
Right.
which is, I mean, that's a good thing, but we should be able to do that. You know, we can't afford to pay out the comp
Or
time.
we need
get
to look at the
everybody back
sheets and
down.
go, hey, here's the deal, you need to take 2 days off, or you need to take.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
If we're caught up on something on Tuesday or Wednesday, take the weekend off.
Well,
You
up
need to get
until
yourself
just
a
here
5-day
recently,
weekend or something.
with all the problems that was going on, with the rain and stuff,
Yeah.
wastewater,
We still had 5
and
inches.
always kept theirs under 80. If they get like 78, then they take off 2 hours, you know,
Okay,
just
then
in case. But then the rain
comp time,
cut,
then let's, at the July meeting, have a comp report and make a decision on that. It'd have to be in a closed, but it shouldn't take too long.
I mean, if they just, you know, took off a half a day here and a half day there and get it back down to where it was, and then we wouldn't be out the money to pay it out. And like I said, until all the rain come and the equipment started breaking down there, that was just a rule. When they got close to 80, they took off 4 hours, because they knew they was gonna get 4 hours paid for that, being on call that week.
Well, worst case scenario, they could take and leave an hour early every day. If they're not busy, leaving instead of clocking out at 4:30,
We
clock out at
always have to
3:30.
tell the supervisors
Right.
that it's.
Leave it up to them. If they don't do it, then we pull the
Well,
supervisors
they
in.
look at their schedule, they make their schedule, so if one of them has
Okay, let's
time to
just,
spare, just
Okay, so we need the comp report.
in the July meeting, closed door, and we'll look at who's way over and say, hey, you better start taking it off.
We'll have to develop that policy and get that out, but.
Okay.
Well,
Don't spend.
I'm with Sherry on that, that's up to the supervisors, they need to keep an eye on their workers'
Right.
time. And when it gets to that point, they need to start making them go home an hour early, or go home extra, or something like that.
We'll need to put this in writing to them, and we really need to put written
Discuss that.
instructions
I
about
mean, we
those,
can, we can.
time cards.
Do I need
Because
to
the
pass out
supervisors
now
are
or
not.
later?
Well, you could go ahead and,
Jennifer
I think
is gonna have
everybody
to
here
make too
can
many
look at
comments.
that, but I don't believe we can talk specific names.
And then the comp,
He said just pass it down.
So we can't, no.
Yeah, we do it behind closed doors in July. We just look at,
I mean, that's what we were given, so.
Yeah, but,
Yeah.
not in this session.
we've also put it back in here that anything over 80 hours, we're not allowing after this, right?
well, it says right in there, after 80 hours, they're supposed to take it off.
It doesn't say what happens if they don't.
Right.
But again, we did
So-
put,
Supervisors
talking
will
about
be
the-
penalized.
we did put something in here about the reinstatement and stuff.
What page was that on? Yeah.
Forfeited vacation time may be reinstated or compensated by Board of Aldermen. So that was on the vacation was what I was thinking about. So we probably do need to add that kind of verbiage back here with the comp time. compensatory time? Because it says all compensatory time earned by an employee must be used before the employee uses any vacation leave, unless this will result in vacation leave being forfeited.
What page is that on?
That's still on 19. I made a note that the golf course, you need to use whatever, Judy had made that note, you got that, don't you, Terry? The blurb
Yeah,
about the
Judy
golf
has the
course.
wording for the golf course.
Yeah.
Okay.
But in that same paragraph, done with prior approval from the supervisor, even after that one, if we use the same type of verbiage as on the vacation,
Where was vacation at?
forfeited compensated, comp time may be reinstated or compensated by the Board of Aldermen.
What page was that one?
On page 19, we need to add what we put on page 24.
24, that's what page I was looking for.
Add number 7 from page 24. Only make it comp instead of vacation, just so that we've got that in there. Because there's bound to be one or two that we'll have to address.
For the review after, is that what 7 is saying?
Forfeit, it should read, on page 19 should be added, forfeited comp time may be reinstated or compensated by Board of Aldermen.
I would put in there though, after the 30 days, if your comp over 80 is forfeited.
And you can't take it away from them.
Yeah,
Well, then how do you have?
See, that's just it, that's why it's
You
never
worked
been
it
put
and
in
you
there.
can't
What
take it.
happens if they don't take it?
So what would be the repercussions if they don't then?
We just insist on they
Just
take,
send them
I
home,
mean,
I guess.
yeah, we just send them home for a day if they don't work it in. If you don't stand up to them, it's just gonna go right back to this same routine that's been there for 10 or 20 years.
I mean, it's either that or you have to pay it out to 80.
But see, someone would do that just for, I just say it, the supervisor has to keep it at 80, and that would, if he don't, write him up.
Any time accumulated over shall
Out
be
of there.
taken. Earned must be used, see, there's, with accrued, see, there's nothing in there that says what happens if they don't take it.
Can be,
It doesn't even,
we can put
There's
in there
no
that
forfeited
will be
comp time.
forced to take.
That second sentence, anytime accumulated over 80 hours instead of shall, must be taken.
That's it though. That doesn't mean anything. Should be embossed.
shall means, will is different, shall.
Maybe
We
put in there.
probably need to check legal on that one though, about that 80 hours.
Could you,
Put in
could you
there.
put in there supervisors will then schedule
Time off
Time off.
your time off?
for you.
Because that way it puts it on the supervisor, say, for instance, you had some comp time and I scheduled you an hour off each
Yeah,
day.
you can
or
take off the day you want, or let the supervisor say, well, Tuesday you're not coming. in."
Tuesday, you're here from 8, but you're going home at 2 because you gotta work off some of that time.
Right.
On days that they would not need them the most, and that would kind of help them out.
Well, it
and
says scheduling use of compensatory time.
Well,
will be
I-
done
you know,
with
an
prior
hour.
approval.
I realize what you're saying, but you know, you might as well just say, you know, you gotta take a day off.
Well, I mean, if
one
they
hour,
don't-
1 hour,
Yeah,
I
but-
understand what you're saying,
But
1
if
hour.
they don't
but-
need them for the day, then give them a day off. But if they're really needing them that week, and they can give them an hour here, 2 hours there, maybe 3 hours there, depending on how much they need them for that week. If they could work them the first 6 hours of the day and get all of it done, and then the rest of the day, they're really not doing much, why keep paying them? Send them
I think
home.
when we
Let
look
them
at
take their
this
comp time.
on the 8th, because some have been taken, we may have less of a problem than we did 3 months ago anyway, or 2 months ago.
Okay, let's study it in July meeting, okay?
We'll leave that as it is for now, but we gotta know about paying out. Are we gonna have paid out overtime at all?
No. I'd say no.
And I guess we have to pay out the police officer that's
Yeah,
in
that's gonna
question
have to be
now
paid
because of
anyways.
this,
Yeah.
or because of the old one, rather.
Well, that's the budget. Yeah. That we're paying out somebody that's on probation.
Well, yeah, it should never. Guess that needs to be put in here somewhere about probationary.
But
The
Calvin,
supervisor should not
but
have
Calvin,
allowed overtime.
Okay, let me throw something out at you guys, when you start talking an hour or 2 hours a day. Okay, when I was a boss, and I was a boss at a mill for like 2-3 years, here's what the deal was. The boss always told me, he said, all right, well, when we break down, you send everybody home. Okay, well, you might work till 1 o'clock, and all of a sudden you break down, so you send everybody home. And by the time you do that 3 or 4 times, all you're doing is looking for more workers. Because then they're mad, because it's like, I'm not getting paid. Well, they are getting paid for the hour that, what they're working, but the thing is if I could keep them there and keep them working, keep good employees there, I didn't have to spend my time looking for employees. If you're just gonna do it an hour or 2 hours, if you can do without them that long, you can probably do without them 8 hours, and we could get 8 hours comp time off the book, so to speak.
but these
Well,
people's gonna,
and
they're gonna
that's
get paid for
something
that hour or 2 hours a day.
Right, but what I was getting
I
at was,
understand.
you know, if you start doing that, then it's gonna be like, well, what's the use? I mean, an hour, 2 hours, come on. I don't wanna drive clear from Eminence or clear from West Plains or wherever, I
You're
don't know.
still
who to
getting
come.
paid
But
regardless.
that's not,
Yeah,
that's
but
not
working or
something to be
not.
put
Yeah,
in
but he's
here.
only getting an hour off, is what Calvin said.
Yeah.
And I'm only getting an hour off today, and I might get 2 hours off tomorrow. Well, you can't do nothing.
Honestly, most of the mill guys like it.
Yeah, if I got
But
paid
again-
compensation for taking off hourly, I'd be doing it.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
that can
but
be
that's-
addressed when we work on the comp report.
Right, right.
It's not in here.
Okay, so we gotta figure out this.
What are we
overtime.
gonna do with okay, so we know that we have to pay the hours that she worked, right, for the PD,
But we need to.
overtime, but we stress that we don't have overtime, we only have comp time.
So we need
Is
to.
that
All we have to
gonna be
do
it?
on that is just keep, when employees are required to work more than 40 hours a week, overtime will be paid and computed at 1 1/2 times the regular pay.
during probationary periods also,
Right.
which I.
Well, you're saying overtime will be paid.
She means comp time, I think.
No, it says in here overtime, so we need to change overtime and put comp time will be,
Well, you need to eliminate the whole overtime, and
Yeah.
anything concerning comp time needs to be under compensatory time.
eliminate that then, just take
Yeah,
that
just
completely
leave
out of there. Right?
Okay, then they don't get to choose it, it's compensatory time
Right.
will accrue at a rate of 1.5 hours for each hour of overtime worked. For each hour worked, where's that regular schedule wording? So, under compensatory time, you're gonna take out the first sentence completely. The second sentence will read compensatory time will accrue at a rate of 1.5 hours for each hour worked.
Exactly.
Of overtime worked, yes.
That
No,
first
don't
sentence.
use the word overtime, for each hour worked over the regular schedule. Wait a
Over
minute,
the
I'm gonna find that.
Anytime each hour worked over the 40-hour work week schedule.
Let's see how it's worded. That's worded somewhere else in there.
Didn't we change that to, we wanted it changed to the actual hours, not 280 hours per year? It's on
Yeah,
60.
we changed that back to 169, or 160, what was it? 160.
Okay.
1,664. That's 32 hours to 40 hours is full-time.
We don't want 32 hours to be full-time.
But that's state.
You don't have to have it at 32. 35 to 40 hours can be classified as full-time.
35?
36 to 40.
Sorry, I wish 36 to 40 is sufficient for me. That's what I mean, I don't think you should be able to work 32 hours at a full-time benefits.
Normally
That's only 6
scheduled,
hours a day.
normally scheduled work week, there's,
6 times 12, it's a little over 6.5 hours a day.
So,
oh,
Don't the,
I'll find that, but you
supervisor-
guys know what I mean by that?
yep. You know,
The compensatory of
the
each
supervisor
hour
at the
worked.
senior,
Was it the one on?
she don't work on
Is it on page 7?
Fridays.
Oh,
Really?
maybe it was.
I think so, I might be wrong on that. But that's what I'm thinking. Does the supervisor at the senior center work?
No.
I didn't even ask. Did you see that look?
Well, she calls the Charlotte person her supervisor, so she hasn't considered herself a city employee in the past. I don't
We can about the same.
It would be that.
Does she only work 4 days a week? That's what I was gonna ask you.
I think she works 32 hours. I don't know if it's
4 days a week. She's
short
off on
days
Friday.
or long.
No?
So we would just add this paragraph of the police
So
department.
is she getting overtime?
On
That's
there
addressed
instead of
back
the
Thank you.
overtime. The employee work hours,
Because you said you
it's got
wanted-
the police department is scheduled by the chief after 40 hours, then comp and a half, and we need to confirm the 43 hours. So that's something we still gotta ask him. But
Okay,
that's
but
taken
we-
back over there.
Okay, I didn't know if you wanted to use some of that to get rid of this overtime you said you wanted to get rid of. For the 1.5 hours of overtime work, you wanted to change that to something to say comp or?
Yeah, that's what I was going to try to find the wording that regular scheduled 40 hours or, I just lost it. But we're back on page 19 still. Okay. Under compensatory time, that should read compensatory time will accrue at a rate of 1.5 hours for each hour worked over,
40
I'm gonna
hours.
put regularly scheduled 40-hour work week.
Yes.
It may be a little bit different. Regular scheduled 40-hour work week. And then take out overtime
That
at all?
Sounds good.
Okay.
It kind of hits it right on the
On
head.
compensatory time. Eliminate the first line, the second line will read, compensatory time will accrue at a rate of 1.5 hours for each hour worked
Schedule our,
over regular scheduled 40-hour work week.
that sounds good. That sounds good. All right, let's get off 19. Where was we
Yes.
going?
One thing, you might get rid of the word over and put above instead. And that way you get rid of the confusion of overtime.
Worked above regular schedule.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, above will take over the word over, and they can't say it's overtime.
Above regular scheduled work week.
It's a good one. That's good.
Okay.
That'll work.
Okay.
All right.
We've
Now, we're
done
on-
away with the overtime, is that what you're saying?
Yes, we're not paying out overtime. Anything over your regular 40-hour work week, above your 40-hour work week is going to be comp time at time and a half.
And should we not put in there that it is the supervisor?
It's already
That's
there.
gone.
Okay,
Let's schedule it.
Right, I see it now. Okay, we're off comp time.
Okay, let's go to page 33.
We quit.
Okay,
I don't really know,
well, that means the last line of that needs to come out of there,
last line is what?
where it says overtime on page 19. Because it's.
We just took it out. We just took
Hear
it
what I
out.
read?
From where it says time worked.
Overtime work shall be paid on the first payday following the pay period in which it was earned.
No, it starts down
Counts
here,
going
this
backwards.
first line's gone. And the comp, it's any hours scheduled, 40 hours.
Thank God
But
you
the
have a
deputy
shawl.
about the overtime, that's what you
I
said.
think it feels good.
You feel good? Well, you
That's
get
what
your
you
sweater.
paid.
Now,
Pretty
this-
sure I'm having,
That first under comp,
is that time?
compensatory time, the first line take
I've
out.
been there, done all that.
And then the second line is going to read, compensatory time will accrue at a rate of 1 1/2 hours for each hour worked above regular scheduled 40-hour work week.
That sounds great.
Scratch out the two words of and overtime. Any time accumulated must be taken off 30 days. Time earned will be used before. The golf course has a different 80 hours. If the employee accrued time is promoted, it goes with him. It will be paid out prior to, if an employee with accrued comp time is promoted, all accrued comp time will be paid out prior to the effective date of promotion?
Right.
No,
We need to-
I thought we said no on that. What page are you
Well-
on now?
That's,
Back
this
to-
really should be the way it should be done because the situation like we have, I mean, you have to go back 3 years or whatever it is, the highest in the
What
last
page is
3
she?
years by
19,
federal law.
Let's see that page.
yes.
Well,
So
one
that's-
thing, one thing about paying them out on comp time, if they're gonna get a promotion, most of the time, they will get a raise on that promotion. So then you're paying all that comp time out at a higher,
And this eliminates that.
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
you pay them for what they.
So let's leave that in there and start doing it.
sounds
You want
good
it
to me.
paid out or comp time must be taken before the promotion?
Huh?
You want it paid out or comp time must
No,
be
I-
taken?
I would leave it in.
What's
just like
left
this
over,
is.
because they might not have much left over. when
They
get
shouldn't, not
promoted.
if we're-
Yeah,
Staying at 80 hours.
Yeah.
yeah.
They shouldn't have no comp time if they're gonna get
Okay,
promoted,
let's go to
because
page 33 really fast. so we don't go back.
33.
33.
And I'm
Please
sure
stop.
that we didn't have anything about technology in here. I'm really surprised if we did.
This is all new, I think.
The one thing is, I know each person has a login for their time card. And this is probably more just a legal thing, privacy and that, but everybody using their cell phones for, personal cell phones for everything is not a good thing at all, but
Is there a way to prevent it?
the only way would be to issue city phones for everybody and have
would
them
help.
use them, and people don't want to use two phones.
Yeah, to log on, I think it's loggers, I have to have a cell phone number because they
Yeah.
send me a code on my cell phone and they won't let me do it any other way.
There's so many things.
The personal electronic devices
Yep.
that they're,
Prohibited from connecting to any city network. Blew that one.
well, that third thing down, there is no section of personal privacy related to the use of personal of employment at any time or requested the employee may be asked to produce the personal, don't ask me for my phone.
See, that's the bad thing.
Yeah, well,
Anything that's put on there and saved in the cloud,
I think that was part of the, search one that we crossed off here,
Right.
that's not legal.
Because it says
And
this,
I don't think that's legal.
the city reserves the right to review, restrain,
See, all
monitor.
this came from Myrna.
Yeah, well,
The
that
social
paragraph right
media,
there
the
needs to be
same thing.
eliminated.
Is Myrna's insurance?
Because Jamie had to have me
Correct.
arrested, somebody wants my
Yeah.
personal phone.
Yeah, I don't agree with it.
So we just take that.
Well, if a personal device is hooked up to the city's network, then you have the right as the network provider to monitor
When
what is,
they're-
what is being viewed.
Right.
But like her, and she has to, and we don't have cell phones, and she has to use her cell phone to get into loggers,
But
right?
my cell phone isn't hooked to the network here. I do not use the network here. I use my minute because who cares anymore?
So are we allowing personal devices to be connected to the city network?
Oh, I'm sure some of them are.
Well, can we not?
Well, all of them would be if they use their cell phone to log in or to,
Yeah.
Clock in?
clock in.
Is there not another way to clock in?
Oh, they clock in on the computer, don't they? They don't use their
Yeah, I
cell
think they
phones.
clock in, I clock in on the computer.
Yeah, they have to clock in on a laptop.
Do we have Wi-Fi here that you can hook to?
Yeah,
Where? Yeah, with Wi-Fi.
yeah, but you gotta have a password.
Okay, because I didn't know we had it.
So can we not change that password to remove them off of the city's network?
Well, and I don't know which ones are, or if they are, there's gotta be,
They all have to
some
go
way
down
that
to the
they
maintenance
log
shed and get on the computer to clock in.
There are ways to lock down a network. You can lock down the
Is that
network
not
so it
true?
only
I
allows
don't think
certain
so.
IP address
Because see,
or certain MAC addresses to
when
hook
we
to
said
it.
before,
and if
they
we're-
all
if we're
wanted to
through
use their
TNT
phone.
Wi-Fi, they should
and
be able to do that.
Somebody
Set it
threw a
up.
fit, say no, because they could clock in at home and not even be at work if you let them use their phone.
yeah.
We had people doing that at the school district. They were
That's why
clocking
we
in at home.
never allowed it when we was in there before.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
Mountain View down here, when I worked there, you had to go in, you had to sit down at the computer,
Right.
and you literally, because they wouldn't let you use your cell phone was useless. I
Well, see,
mean,
we voted that out whenever I was in last time because everybody said, don't do it because they'll be clocking in at home and driving to work.
So
So-
do they
I
have,
don't know
like
how
a,
they clock in or when they clock.
Well, they should be, if they're going to the maintenance shed, there should be a computer down there to use.
And it's not,
Everybody starts at the maintenance shed, if I'm not
Everybody.
mistaken, the fire department, or, the electric department guys are down there, everybody else is down
I
in the
think
maintenance shed.
wastewater clocks in at wastewater.
Yeah, and sanitation, I assume, clocks in at
And the maintenance.
sanitation.
Yes, it's
So we'd have to
sanitation.
make sure that there's 4 computers working connected to this network here.
Well, I think,
is there any way
the
we
golf
can get
course
a printout?
clocks in at up at the pro shop too.
Do you know what I mean?
But
If
now,
it- like
okay.
if you get a
Yeah,
printout of the
that'd be
timesheet
fine.
and it should show where they clock in at.
Well, I've only had payroll pull up, a specific timesheet, so I don't know what
Not
all
a
the reports.
report
But
for everybody.
I'll check on that.
Because that was off the subject too, but
But, well, we need to know the clock-in process for the one thing,
Yes.
and any kind of reports we can get from
well,
the
like you
clock.
said, Gail, if TNT is their provider, then they should have some kind of, where their network runs into a computer. Say if there is one at the maintenance shed, they know where their IP address is going.
yeah, they should be able to specify
Well-
specifics.
Between Terry and I, we'll figure out a clock-in process and what reports we can get, and then we can come back to this section 11, okay?
I would check into.
Is there anything else that,
Well, we know the library's got computers, that's no problem.
I would
They
check
can
into
clock
like
in there.
legality wise on a personal, electronic device.
Yeah, we just need to remove that.
Yeah, because I don't agree with it.
I don't either.
Unless if you're gonna offer to provide a cell phone to the individual and they refuse it,
that would be
then
one thing.
they would have to sign a waiver or something. and stating, I wanna use my personal cell phone, and then you have the right to search it. Does that make sense?
Well, it says the very first line, to ensure the security of the city's information, all personal electronic devices are prohibited from connecting to any city network.
Yeah, they shouldn't be connected, their personal
They shouldn't
devices should
even-
not be connected to your
Yeah.
network at all.
Right?
But what if it's connected to your work email?
That's connected to the
But that-
email,
but that
which is
means
a
you can-
cloud
you
thing,
can
that's
search
No,
not
on
you
your
the
send
network.
me emails all the time.
City email is on my phone now.
Yeah, email on my
My-
phone.
My
Yeah.
city email's not on my phone.
Well, I didn't get to the emails until I did. Because I don't get on,
Yeah,
I get on my laptop.
But
very
I'm
often.
thinking about employees, you know, that have their city email is, well, any of them, I guess, probably.
Yeah. They're on their phone, but if I were to quit, you would immediately change that email password, so then it will no longer work on my phone.
Mhm.
You
Yeah,
can
it should log you
disconnect
out.
those
Yeah,
immediately.
but do
But
you think they already
physically, this is
get
talking about
get your,
physically attached to the network,
Yeah,
like
but
hooked in with the cord.
we've had so many problems getting into a lot of things, or emails were coming to personal, and a lot of this has been eliminated, but a lot of invoices used to come to a personal email rather than a city email,
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Well, that's something too we need to talk about.
Well, maybe they-
Gmail is not for
Not
public
businesses.
or business use. We're in violation of a whole bunch of stuff
Yeah.
that kind of has come about since the city started using, we need to get our own. And if you get Gmail for businesses, you can have the .Mountain View City or whatever domain name you want on there, and you have complete control of those email addresses.
Because she was starting
It
to set
costs
up an
something.
email address for each department, but Google limited.
Google shut me down.
Limited number. So,
It does make sense, each department does need
you
their
two
own.
try to cook up this.
yeah,
Yeah.
everybody's using the
If you
personal
get
email,
the
which everybody's using.
Gmail for business, you can have a website, so all the email addresses would be Judy at Mountain View
They would all be associated.
and Calvin at Mountain View, you know, it would all be, and then somebody here would have a desktop control panel where they can log on and control them all, shut them down.
Well, and
Get
that would
into
be
them,
the way to
change
be
their
able to change
passwords.
the passwords.
Yeah,
So
that would be
I'm
much more
making a
secure.
note, check Gmail for business on this same little
That might not
technology policy thing, and let's skip 33, 34, and 35 for right now, please.
Well, let's go back and put that on there that we skipped.
Yeah, I kind of preliminary looked at the pricing, and it's like $5 a person and per month, and
So have we looked into a website for us specifically for Mountain View?
no,
Just the one that I found way back when, and that's a Google something or other.
yeah, it's got a bizarre
I didn't change
website address,
the
it's not
mayor's
got
name.
our own domain, it's a Google
Oh,
site.
So, would there be a
But
way
there's
to,
no information on there is current, except my name.
just, would there be a way we could get if we're going to do that and get a domain, we should be able to get a website with
At the
it?
same time.
Or have one built.
Well, it's expensive. That might be something that it's a process, in time, but if we could get that, then you could get your email addresses, and then we have a website we can start working on.
I looked at Willow Springs website, and there's a company that specifically works with cities, small cities. I don't know how expensive they are, I haven't asked anybody, because unless y'all want me to look into it, I don't want them calling me.
Yeah, I would, you might call Willow and get information for them, like when we looked into it for the business, it was, oh, well, it's only this much, but then you have to pay so much per year. the initial fee, and they lowered it to like $3,500 to start that initial fee. And then it was like $600 per year. So it's not outrageous, but it's a chunk to get it started. And for city, that's way different than, just a small business.
The domain name will cost you $200 to purchase it, and that's good for 3 years.
And then you have to pay.
And then you have to pay.
Yeah. Yeah. Which that's not bad for 200. It's,
Yeah, $200 and you have the domain, but then you have to pay somebody to host it. And the hosting, GoDaddy used to be like $200 a year or something. It wasn't real bad to get a GoDaddy site. I can do some web design. I'm not real,
I mean, heck,
Beautiful
even
at it, but
basic right now, I think would be sufficient.
yeah.
Yeah.
And we can take that Google site that they made and kind of use it as a template to,
I've got somebody I can ask to find out how much they would charge on it. And they may be able to help us a little bit more because they're into the web design and stuff like that.
you
And
know.
they might be willing to even help just get it
High
started.
school kids are a great resource.
Well,
I
yeah.
had my high school kids help and they love to show off.
They're full of technology.
Yes.
Okay, let's look at page 36, safety program. This is something that I know from our MIRMA inspections, we really fell down on the safety part of it.
Are they saying anything about, Myrna, are they saying anything about our parks, the mulch and stuff around our swings and slides and stuff? Did they write us
I
upon that?
don't recall that at all, but
Because I know the mulch used to have to be so deep, you had to fluff it and all of that because of kids' injuries. And the last time I was at the park, Veterans Park, there was bare ground underneath them swings and stuff. I just wondered if we had got wrote up on that.
no, I don't believe so, but I'll check that report.
Okay.
But again, this is
To me, the only one that I have a problem with would be this physical fitness thing, under job injury and accident, all the other stuff, I agree to. I'm not speaking for everybody, but I agree to that. But the physical fitness, I mean, really, can you really tell somebody that,
Oh, the physical fitness
Yeah.
is key preventing. Well,
I mean.
I don't think that,
That would.
I think that's just talking about, or leading into the regardless of how minor.
I think we should take that one out.
Yeah.
Just
And
take the
that's-
whole thing
Yeah.
out.
No,
I just-
just the first sentence.
First line?
Because that's
Yeah.
kind of zeroing somebody out on maybe their weight. or-
Oh, okay,
You know,
I see,
yeah.
yeah, I understand what you mean
And
there.
on the last paragraph, where it says supervisors are responsible to, responding to any incident, accident, or notified, I think they need to make an incident report.
Oh,
They said
They
following
have to
proper
for
reporting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
responsible to any incident, and then it says.
Documentation.
Safety requirement. Could they
Yeah.
have an actual incident report that is printed out, like a hard copy of it? And then
it
each
has to be
department has
submitted
that,
on origami.
Yeah.
but they don't have a paper one to put in the file for a paper trail too?
It says down there, it
We can
says
print
please
those out, I
completing the
think.
accident report
We can
form
print out the
obtained by
incident
any
forms.
supplemental
Yeah, I think they're
Keep them in a
completed
file.
online and can be printed out. We got it. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Because that way they can put them like in a file or the employee's file, that if it ever had to be,
Yeah, I
You
have
would
a
have to
file
go-
with work comp things and it's got
Yeah.
those reports in it from way back.
What's wrong with that second paragraph where job injury and accident? An employee involved in an incident or accident resulting in damage to city-owned vehicles, equipment, or property may be required to undergo drug and alcohol tests.
May,
there may not, no, may needs to go,
Well, the
should.
thing that, when I worked for the school, if you were involved in any kind of accident, automatically you were hauled off to the
Exactly.
hospital.
why is it may?
Yeah.
Maybe
we
a
should-
shall instead of may?
Will be required,
Well, shall is,
or however you.
Yeah,
Less
shall
harsh.
is,
Shall be.
Shall be required. I
shall
mean-
is definite, will is there still,
I mean, it's one of those things when you try to explain to people, it's like, okay, well, I went out and got drunk last night or whatever, and then you cut your finger half off at a mill or something, it's like, you know that's gonna show up in your system.
shall be
That
And that's the
should-
first
they should
thing
be
that they do.
automatically
for
tested
non-serious
because-
and non-life-threatening emergencies, the employee and their supervisor is required to call. Right, well, it'd be the city admin.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna change that.
To
It
shall,
probably may be required to shall be required.
shall be required. Does anybody ever go down and inspect the maintenance shed or the workplace of any of our employees and see,
You want my opinion, or you want my,
No, nobody except you guys.
I know that in their reports, was it last month or the month before, they did a lot of cleaning around there.
Oh, I know, yeah, it was Alan. Yes.
Anyway, I just, I was making a statement, I wasn't asking a question, I was just.
Well, I'm gonna ask a question then. Why can't we make it a monthly thing that somebody is designated to check on that
That's what that city admin will do.
and make sure they do it every month?
It's, the city admin is the supervisor of the supervisors, guys.
Yep.
has anybody went down to maintenance shed?
No, I haven't ever been down there.
Have you been down there, Calvin? It's
I
a
can tell you this,
junkyard.
and here's how
It's
close
a
it's been
junkyard.
washed. Here's how close it's been washed. I was down there 4 months ago. And one of the things that made me think about it is okay, they've got a dumpster sitting out front. They got a 2-yard dumpster, literally right there beside the mechanic shed. Okay, the lids are open and it's full of metal. That was 4 months ago. I was down there, remember I told you I was down there last week, they asked about the stops for out front, there was none. Or last week, I don't know, a couple, guess what's still got the lid up, it's still full of metal right out there beside the maintenance, the mechanics.
It's probably the collection point for the,
Yeah, but it's still, it's got the same exact metal it had in it 4 months ago.
yeah, but they collect that and then they recycle it and sell it.
But it's,
But
But
why
it's full.
hasn't the guy at the
why don't
maintenance
they
shed
come
called
and get
and
it and
told
take
him
it
to
down
get
if it's
it?
full?
It's probably what the electric department is collecting. I don't know. They'll,
I'm telling you,
But
okay,
didn't you walk
one
down
of the times
there?
that I've been down there, there was nobody there. It was wide open and I just walked around. So,
Well, then you go down there and you got a junkyard, cause you got a bunch of lawnmowers sitting out there.
well, you park out front.
You got it.
That's all.
I've never been down there.
And you know that tractor that sits down there? That's a good tractor. Good
we're
old
supposed
case
to get
tractor.
lists of all of that stuff, so all of it can be addressed.
Well, I'm just, reason I said that. I mean,
Gotta let
just
them
write on
safety.
there what's wrong with it. I mean, now it's set there till Tarsus went down on it. That was a good working tractor, great for brush hogging the airport. But it looks like a junkyard that's been there since I was a kid.
See, the
Rusty.
thing, I bet you Merv would come along and say, look at the tractor, does it have a cage on it?
Uh-huh.
It does have a cage?
Oh, no, it's
In other
got,
words,
it's got. a
somebody
rope-
could just
rope
fall
bar.
off of it with no problem. That's probably Murma's.
I think as a.
No, I think they
department
parked it.
inspection,
It had a
it's-
flat, I heard, and they parked it. And it has a hydraulic cylinder on one of the PTO, or the arms. Just park it.
Yeah, just in case. Sometimes you need a little time.
Terry
I get very
made up
impatient.
some nice little forms to give to the supervisors to list the equipment, list the vehicles and who they're driven by. There was 3 or 4 of them, so we're collecting information. She's collecting
All right, so
information.
we're done with
So
that page?
we're on page 36, change the may to shall, required to call the blank as the city admin, take the first line out under job injury and accident, and I'm gonna check on the Myrna, department inspections.
We got 37.
36 is okay?
Where we at?
We're on
37.
That's drug testing.
37 is gonna beat the drug testing to death. Or 4
This-
pages of it.
Why does
But
just
my
certain,
question
why does
is-
just certain employees get drug tested? I know
They do randoms,
on CDL drivers.
they do
But
randoms.
why
There's
don't the rest of them
There's
do?
a schedule, a company that, the one time that I was involved, they sent an email and gave a list of 2 employees that were going to be tested at some date and time. And then they would give an alternate list of 2 employees in case those 2 weren't available. And this was in between city clerks, I guess. So then you had to notify that employee less than 24 hours. No, maybe it was 2 hours, I don't know anyway. You had to notify that employee that they had to come up and do their test, but you didn't give them very much. And that's just randomly this, it's
Yeah, we
18
just do the
something or other.
CDL drivers is all we do. Everybody gets a drug test when they're hired. Everybody gets a background check when they're hired. But then for the ongoing, only the CDL drivers are in that database being pulled, because that's,
And I guess that comes from
required.
the state or something.
yeah, the states
It's a
that
shame.
have to do that.
Well, it states in both the old and this new one that also the public works departments are supposed to have.
Superintendent, assistant superintendent, mechanic, equipment operator, maintenance worker, lab
Where you
technician.
seen that?
It's on page 13 in the old and it's on page 30. Everything that is in
Oh,
this one on
38.
37 and 38 is out of the old book. Every line of it.
So the following positions are designated as safety sensitive
I don't have
positions.
page 38.
Right.
I guess I'll
And
take
it
your word
leads
for it.
over into the,
Do you have 39 and 40?
Yeah, I got 39 and 40, but I only have 38.
Did it get put in on someplace?
Oh, yeah.
So this policy applies to all safety-sensitive employees who perform safety-sensitive functions as persons and activities are defined in this Transportation Employee Testing Act and is implementing regulations, including but not limited to persons who are required to possess CDL for the operation of commercial vehicle, all law enforcement, emergency services, and other safety-sensitive positions. So then the public works should be included in that, not just CDL.
well,
If I'm reading it right.
Right, it is, that's what I
it's
thought.
in the old and the new. All
It's
of
on the
this
next
is at
page.
every,
Yeah, but if
What
they're
page
only-
is it in the old?
But if they're only
it's on
drawing,
page 13 and 14 of the old.
but if they're only
Oh,
drawing
you
for
mean the-
CDL for the drug testing.
The
The
random,
randoms.
the random ones?
Was that right, Terry?
We don't
You
have
said
any
only
scheduled
ones with
random.
Only
CDLs.
CDLs is all we're doing right now.
I guess the only CDL random, the only randoms we have
When's the last-
saying is CDL.
I can't think of the last time somebody did a random.
Oh, well, it was done back in April.
Or it's been done 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, but it's only the ones with CDL.
Yeah, because our
Because
pool is so
CDL.
small, Ernie's gonna get galled a few times, and there's other people that they say have been.
So-
Careful using names.
Yes,
Oh.
very careful using
Oh, I'm
names.
sorry.
So can we call and find out why they're only doing CDL and not the entire?
They need to do the
It should be the-
entire-
it should
I
be
think it's up to us,
No,
because when
you're
I
not
fill
allowed
that
to do
form
that.
out, I put the employee's
Yeah, no, it says
information.
right here, superintendent, assistant superintendent, mechanic.
To do,
Administrative people.
Yeah, it should be all, everybody.
You cannot do her, you cannot do the mayor.
No, I'm talking public works department, and
Oh.
then street,
Right.
You
electric,
can
water,
test
sewer,
anybody you want.
sanitation, and
School
wastewater.
districts test everybody.
No,
Yeah, they do. I
They
worked
do
for
not-
them for
they-
20 years.
well, I worked for one right down here, not more than like 5 years ago, and they will not, you're not.
They're idiots. Sorry.
Well, I'm sorry, but they're not allowed.
Bigger
to.
bigger districts do do it.
Anyway, so
Yeah,
can
and-
we find out why we're only just doing CDL? or
Yeah,
can we
Yes,
I
add
think it should
I will
go all
ask.
the way across,
Yes.
just whatever needs to be done.
And yes, schools are required every 3 years to drug test their,
3 years. I got, in the 10 years I was employed, I was drug tested probably 15.
Random testing on all persons covered under this policy. That's on page 38.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Random testing will be conducted on all persons covered by this policy. Shall be
So we can
unannounced.
call-
The only thing that I found that was new is this last line, and that's the new addition. That was
They
not
must
in the
proceed
old.
to the testing site immediately, so it must have been just a couple hours then.
Yeah, it says once an
They
employee.
tell us when to notify them.
That's the only thing different, everything else is straight out of the old book pretty much.
Okay.
Okay, the reasonable and the post
I'll
and
take your word for it since I don't have that page.
follow-up.
All of this is,
Yep, the second paragraph on 39, the drug test can be performed at any time the employee is on duty, that's a new addition. This top paragraph is in the old book on 14. It's just this one right
It's
here is,
anytime employee is on duty.
so I don't know if that's something we are going to add, or,
Oh, what is this, a random or reasonable sufficient alcohol test can only be
It's-
performed just before, during, or immediately after the performance of a safety-sensitive duty? So if you smell alcohol on an employee's breath and there's not a safety-sensitive duty, you couldn't have them randomly tested?
well, if you look over here,
Reasonable suspicion.
that's why this one was added on here at the
This
bottom, a drug
safety
test.
sensitive is police department, fire department, and public works
Yeah.
department.
If they drive a company vehicle, you
Yeah,
can pull an
okay.
alcohol test on them
Meaning
before
that,
or
yeah.
after they get in or out of that vehicle.
And that's, I
So
think.
it's
why
Any
they
worker
added
that's
this-
driving one
I
of
think
our
that's why
trucks,
they
we
added
can
that
stop
one,
them and
so
say,
it
hey.
covers it all.
If you smell alcohol or have reasonable suspicion, yes.
Random first. I mean, I think all of it sounds pretty,
And the post-accident.
You can't just go up to the
that's
same
on page
person
14,
every
18,
Monday and say, I
that's
want
all
you to do a test,
page 15,
because that's
that's
picking on them.
right.
But, you know, if somebody
All
says,
of
hey,
it.
I smelled alcohol on Joe's
all in the
breath,
old-
you can have Joe come take.
Failure
The
to
failure to
test.
test is on 15.
I think
16,
Jamie said
all
that
of
was
it's in the
wrong, you
old.
couldn't do it.
If you're gonna do one, you have to do all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought that's why we couldn't do that search thing.
We need to
Because
check
it-
into that.
Oh,
I know
he
we did
said
it at the
that
school
search
district.
thing is really.
I pulled the driver and had him tested,
Okay.
because he could smell the alcohol on him when they come to work.
All of 41 is in the old.
Okay, we'll check
Page
into that.
16, 17, it's all the
Okay.
same.
Through page 41, still following the old one.
Yep, 42 is the same, it's all through the old off page 17. 43 is where a new one is it's under the dress and appearance. Is the only thing. Everything else is in the old.
That can probably be eliminated to a certain extent.
Dress and appearance,
Yeah,
yeah.
it didn't go over too well.
Which one?
The dress and
Dress and
appearance,
appearance.
telling people what they have to wear.
We do need some, well, that clothing thing will be part of that.
A lot of places just use business
Yeah,
casual.
professional appearance and.
Yeah, I mean, I would say at least dress casual. They can't look ratty or anything, but times have changed, clothing has changed. Holy jeans are now acceptable and, you know, there's a lot of things that are acceptable.
I think that second paragraph can probably be scratched and
But the women do need to dress a little tasteful, not like low
professional
cuts,
appearance.
you know,
Yeah.
low
I
cut
don't
shirts.
think anybody
and
wants to
things like
step up to a counter and see cleavage, I'm sorry.
that. Yeah, I mean,
Maintain a professional appearance, I think that really should
I don't.
cover it. but-
does that cover hygiene too? I'm just saying, you know, if they don't,
An employee who
I
does
got
not
time
meet
for that.
the attire or hygiene standards may be asked to leave the premises to change clothing?
yeah, but shouldn't
Those
hygiene
last-
kind of be in there a little bit
Well,
too?
Well, that
Well,
is,
that's what
says
is
hygiene
that.
standard.
Yeah.
The last two paragraphs, or last two sentences
of the middle paragraph?
Yeah. Is there a way to word it differently? But I mean,
Well, we're gonna
you're
admit that
gonna-
whole thing.
Yeah, you're
They fired the person because of that.
Yeah, and there's
Good
some
worker.
things that you can do and some things you cannot do, you know, when
You
it comes
guys-
to hygiene. Some people can't help that they sweat. Some people
Right.
can't help that their sweat stinks. You know, brushing your teeth is one thing, but, you know, there's certain things that you can and cannot do.
That don't mean if you brush your teeth every day that your breath ain't gonna smell because you have gum problems.
Yeah.
And these guys come in off the trash truck or
Well,
out off
I
the
mean,
streets and
certainly,
they smell
yeah,
funny.
but like in a professional setting, I mean, if I come in and I didn't brush my hair for 3 days and, you know, it had gum stuck to it or something, you know, you gotta think about that. 'Cause
Like I said,
And
I
I'm
know
not
what
trying to
I'm
be
doing today.
like chauvinistic, but a woman does need to have a little bit more professional appearance in a public setting, to me, than a man does.
does too.
Because, well, a man does, but I mean, a woman it has a little bit more expectation as far as,
If they're clerical, then yes.
yes,
If,
that's what I'm
if a
trying to
man
get
is
at.
clerical also, then yes. But like most of the departments that we have that the men are in,
Right,
shouldn't
they're
have
gonna
to
be dirty anyways, because they're working outside.
Yes.
So it would be, like she said, more of a clerical, I mean.
And I would say more, like she said, business casual than more professional business, if that makes sense. You know, you need to wear a nice shirt, but you can't expect somebody to wear,
Spaghetti straps and,
Yeah.
you know, and your bra
No,
hanging
but you
out,
can't
know.
expect them to wear a $65 blouse to
Well, no,
look that way.
Okay, so do we want to change are trusted to dress in the best way to represent the city and gain confidence of our citizens?
do they have,
The
okay.
city requires its employees to maintain a professional.
I'd say
So we
that
go to
first
this,
sentence,
do they
that
get
first sentence tells it all.
not
for the city hall?
Mm-mm.
Do they not get shirts that says like City of Mountain View, like,
There have been in the past sweatshirts and or polo shirts, maybe even t-shirts, I don't know, but we haven't ordered any.
what if
In the
we,
last
they
year
did that,
or-
like, you know, I mean, Terry looks nice, but what if she wanted to have like a, y'all have a casual Friday and everybody wears their city
Well,
t-shirt?
a lot of people, or some people, me included, don't wear t-shirts. You know, so,
Yeah, I wouldn't wear a t-shirt to work. They just look sloppy on me.
so that's not professional or.
Would you
in the
wear,
casual.
instead of t-shirt, would you wear a polo?
Oh,
Like
yeah,
the button
polo
up?
shirts, I've worn those to work, because, you know, they have a collar and a little more substance.
What if you had like an over shirt, like an over
Yeah, a jacket. or-
jacket that had it on there or something, that you could wear over a nice top?
I don't.
But
The
some of
first
these
sentence
girls
there,
wear
the
t-shirts
first
that
sentence
have
in there,
their logo on
city
them,
employees are
really nice.
trusted to dress in the best
Some
way
people
to
just wear
represent the
nice
city
good-
Yeah.
and gain the confidence of our citizens. The city requires employees to maintain a professional appearance. That's all it needs to say.
Instead
Just
of
leave
going
it at
into,
that?
yeah, don't go into
Yeah.
detail. You're better off with that.
And just omit that second paragraph.
Do we need the one in there about the police officers?
Well,
Yeah.
They even have this in there.
Well, maybe you take out
what
all.
about if somebody decides they want to put a jewelry box on their forehead and ears and nose? and-
A what?
A jewelry box.
What's a jewelry box?
In other words, if you want to get
Piercings.
some
Piercings.
We can't discriminate.
Right, I understand that, but I also understand
It's not a
this, is
professional appearance, in my opinion, but it could be for somebody else.
With it being, and don't
Dress.
take this wrong, but older generation, things have changed. If I decide to go get my nose pierced today, does that make me look less professional?
well,
Oh.
yeah, personally, I mean, I don't have a problem, I'm
Oh.
just saying that,
Go back to page 5 in the old one. That even, the dress code for employees vary according to the type of work performed. Office employees are expected to dress professionally. Police officers wear their uniforms. Suitable clothing for jobs performed and should not wear torn or ragged clothing. When working roadside, employees must wear the provided, blah, blah, blah. The city requires its employees to maintain a professional appearance. So I mean, that's repetitive there, but
I think
that
that's.
even sounds better than
Yep.
what this does.
Right.
Yes.
So we leave, we're saying,
So 1.1 100,
On page
old
5.
book, page 5.
And then cross these off.
Yeah, just take all of that out then.
And then I would, I mean,
Next
I
page,
kind of
Sue.
agree with if they're very inappropriate, then you can send them home. Hygiene standards, I don't think that's something you can do
Okay.
unless it's intentional.
So, yeah,
Even then, I don't think it can be. I don't know.
do we put in there should not wear torn or ragged clothing, or just employees should wear suitable clothing for jobs performed? And, oh, something about the inappropriate in there, or?
Let me go back to that one.
They're not allowed to wear like provocative. That kind of,
I would just
Maintain a
use the word
professional
inappropriate.
appearance unless you're professional.
Well, but that's what it says here, that's what it says on that 1.100, maintain
So
a
if we would-
professional appearance.
And it should not wear torn or ragged clothing.
It does,
I hate to tell them that them
Employees
jeans
should
with holes in them
Wear
is very
suitable
expensive.
clothing for jobs
They are.
Yes.
performed.
I mean, that's the style. I mean, I don't think we ought to have employees going around with their showing, but. So if you
Okay.
do let them wear,
Let's just take this one line at a time then. The dress code for employees vary according to the type of work performed. Office employees are expected to dress professionally. Are we
and
okay?
tastefully.
Maybe tasteful,
professionally is
Yeah.
tastefully.
yeah.
Police officers are to wear their uniforms, and the uniforms are to be properly maintained and kept clean and neat at all times. Police uniforms are provided upon employment. Employees should wear suitable clothing for jobs performed.
Should not wear torn or ragged clothing.
Okay. When working roadside, all public works employees must wear the provided safety vest, shirt, and jacket. Now, if we're going to provide the okay, maintain a professional appearance and utilize
Provided.
provided clothing allowance or something like
Provided
that,
attire or
and utilize provided clothing,
provided by city.
yeah, the elected clothing.
city prosecutors, maintain person, and utilize the provided, or utilize clothing provided by city. That means the t-shirts and stuff, whatever we come up with. That work?
Yep.
Okay.
So we can,
Inappropriate attire may result in what word do we want there?
Discipline. You could write them up and then 2 write-ups, then,
maybe
In
yes.
disciplinary action?
yes.
Just leave it at that.
Yeah, because that would be better than they'll learn from their mistake instead of all be sent home to change.
Right. Yep. City requires its employees to maintain a professional appearance and utilize clothing provided by the city. Inappropriate attire may result in disciplinary action. That's going to be on page 43, taken from page 45 with addition.
Now, this is just a possibility. What if, say, streets department, their t-shirt gets ripped, but that's the only t-shirt that they have that specifically has the city logo on
And
it.
they're supposed to wear them.
Where you're going to get 5 of them, so that
But again, that's just a
But if
possible.
they lose, if they damage one or two, they can come in, right, Sherry?
Yeah,
and
but it's saying
request for
have
an
to,
extra
but
one?
what this
But we
saying
don't want
here,
to say torn or ragged clothing.
right, it says torn or ragged clothing. And if they get tore, and they live 15 miles away, then I don't have time to go home and
Well,
change
we
your
need to
shirt.
see
Yeah,
on
but
the
it's under
circumstance.
disciplinary action, so they're not gonna get disciplined because their
Yeah.
shirt torn.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's, that leaves us
Well,
open
it's a
for
circumstance,
a
right?
little bit of circumstances, yes.
All right, let's go to page 44. Oh.
Josh?
Well, that, the top of page 44, scratch that off because that's taken care of on the previous page.
Okay?
So residents. Residents. Cities of the city need not reside within the city but are encouraged to do so. That's what was in the old one, there's nothing in the new one.
Yeah, that was
Do we
in the
wanna
old one
add
on page
that?
6.
On 6?
I got it on page 5. Oh, 5, yeah, resident was on page 5.
Do we want to put that in there? 1.120 from page 5?
It says employees of the city need not reside within the city, but are encouraged to do so.
Yes.
Yeah, 'cause it shouldn't matter if they live outside of town.
It used to.
I think this political thing is just
That's
absurd.
on, yeah, page 6. That was all.
I don't know what the exceptions to this policy really address.
Yeah, that's not me.
Does that address the political activities or?
No, oh, please. I think the residence policy maybe, or what it may have been.
Would this be like if they did like, like over at West Plains where you do the hiring through is that what that means?
Oh, shall not be appointed or retained on the basis of city employees shall not. That doesn't make sense though.
What's that,
That's
that
policy.
job
In other
aids
words,
done?
if you knew, if you had 2 employees, put in an application and you was a Republican, and you knew one of them was a Democrat and one was a Republican, you can't hire the one just because he's a Republican.
Well, yeah, but how would exceptions to this policy mean anything for that?
I think it has something to do with like
May
the,
not apply to persons hired under federal or state grants and aid or similar. Employees under, will be subject to applicable federal or state regulations. But I still don't know what that means.
I don't think that needs to be in there. It doesn't make sense.
I don't know, unless that's
Like
like a
the,
job
like the
employment
lady that
agency or something.
works down at sanitation, and she works under that grant that pays her wages and we don't have to pay. So she's working under state regulations.
Right, but what does that have to do with political activity?
I have no idea.
That's correct.
Well, no, that's
The-
the exception to this policy.
So that would be
Oh,
the
wait a
personnel
minute. This-
policy?
13. Privilege may not apply to persons, that's still at 1.310 on page 10. I'm wondering if that applies to the whole policy.
That's what I'm getting
Or
at.
if that's just in the wrong place.
It could be.
That should probably be on the like the last page or the first page or something. So it's in the old.
We'll have to put a question mark by that. Let's see where, now we've got safety operations.
What should we do when we go by city workers and they are standing there and they don't have their vest on or their hard hats on or and they're right on the street. He wants to come and report to you and you go get
Now
him.
we'll report to the admin and the admin can get to the supervisor. Since the supervisor is accountable for the people that he's got out there.
Okay.
Okay, so Public Works is,
Well,
does,
and
we
that
need to
will be
specify?
in that organizational chart that we're gonna get to
Okay.
sooner or later.
You gotta get that one done, just get this one done too, right?
That's right.
Yeah. Hey,
Might
we're
change
doing
things.
good, we're on page 40.
Discipline policy, we're we just need more disciplines.
What does it mean when no permanent employee shall be
All these
disciplined
are in
except
the
for
old
violations of
11,
established rules and regulations?
Every one of these are on 11, page 11 and
No
12.
permanent employee shall be disciplined except for violation of established rules and regulations. And such discipline shall be in accordance with procedures established by the personnel rules and regulations.
That's because by ordinance, we're supposed to have a discipline policy. That's what
But
our rules and regulations are.
so that's just stating that if we don't have this set in stone, then they cannot be disciplined? That's what that.
By law, yeah.
Well, but that's what that's meaning there.
I believe so.
Okay.
Because we've had it more than one time. Well, that's not what the handbook says. That's not what the handbook says.
It shall be city employees to provide relevant to security personal rules and regulations. No permanent employee shall be disciplined except for violations of established rules and regulations.
Yeah,
think
that's
it's-
By ordinance, the council
It's
has
almost
to.
contradicting itself, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Set the
Discussion proper and adequate performance.
And it's the same way as, they can't be disciplined for it or the punishment for it unless the punishment is stated. That's what Deidre keeps saying about the
I think two,
nuisance. You gotta have a punishment to go with it.
I think two needs to be taken out. I would say warning, suspension, and then termination.
So the
Efficiency,
motion's out,
discipline shall be,
That's what I think.
the steps, warning, demotion, suspension.
What do you think?
Yeah, we don't need,
That's, well, you got three chances.
Where you
right?
gonna
I just go with four.
You wouldn't be able- You'd only be able to demote a supervisor back to a worker.
Mhm.
well, if he's on the second one, then.
So
he's on
warning, suspension, and termination.
termination.
Okay. Then we take demotion out under 2,
And 3 steps.
and these numbers don't make sense here.
No,
Because
you
if we
gotta
got
suspend them for.
1, 2, ground for actions. 2, then that should be ABCs. If you've got 1 is the employee and the supervisor's responsibility. You've got 1, and then 1B, so it doesn't make sense either.
Well, actually,
So shouldn't
yeah,
it
that's
be-
supposed to be,
1, and then it should be an A.
well, actually, it's the second part. This is 1, and this is supposed to be 2, and what's under 2?
Yeah, but the numbers shouldn't be in.
Yeah, it's,
It should be,
It should be 1 and then 1B and 1A and 1B. You should have an A
Okay.
there.
A should be, it is the duty of ever,
Yes.
and then B should be,
Yeah.
is the duty of every supervisor, okay.
Okay, so
Yeah,
A and
you've got-
B should be over here, that paragraph that's to
Under
the right should be
discipline, it's
backed
gonna
up.
be one is employees and supervisors' responsibility. A is the employee, B is the supervisor.
Okay.
Then we go to the next paragraph, and it's 2, grounds for action, and then the 1 through 17 should be ABCs. Correct?
Like Calvin said, are we gonna have a
Suspension of,
specific?
or wouldn't that almost have to be determined on each individual basis?
That's what I was thinking, each, depending on their, what they did.
So ABCs. And that first one, conviction of a felony. Okay, I've always taken that to be the already employed and then we're convicted of a felony, that would be a termination.
While under employment, do
Well,
we need to add that on there, conviction or felony or
Well-
other crime involving moral, under,
They'd already have to be, or they couldn't be suspended or
okay.
terminated, so.
And you're saying immediate termination?
And warning, shouldn't warning be, or no, they don't get any warning on this, they just get suspension or termination? Don't you always have to give a warning before suspension?
I think so.
If you commit a felony, you rob a bank while you're employed with the city, you're gonna be terminated without warning.
Right,
Yeah.
that this would be warning, suspension,
Well,
warning, suspension, or termination.
it probably would be in
So,
there.
not all of them are gonna be a warning, not all of them are gonna be a suspension, and not all of them are gonna be
Just
termination.
depends on,
Yeah, because absent without leave, that would be
Be
a
a
no call, no
warning.
show.
Yeah,
So
that would be a warning, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so take out the motion
should
like
we
the
put in
last one.
warning?
And put in warning, okay.
Okay, then you got, because we have hired
Intentional failure.
employees that have had previous felony convictions, but it wasn't, they weren't convicted as an employee.
And I would say it just depends, really. I mean, on the felony, because if they get a felony while employed, most likely they're gonna serve jail time.
Right,
So
anyway,
that termination
but
anyway,
they-
but
Yeah.
Of the permanent employees.
But if 30 years ago you drove on a suspended 17 times like my son,
So,
that's not that big a deal.
acts of incompetency,
yeah, I would say
without leave, subordination, intentional failure, misappropriation, refusal to pay legally enforceable debt.
completion of any information required by the city. That would be lying about something or to the city or to people about the city.
Well, it says, well, of any information required by the city, so if you lie on your application,
Yeah, such as if you'd said, no, I haven't convicted of a felony, and then your
Right.
background check
Yeah.
shows that you did.
After the fact.
Yeah.
Okay. Required actions.
repeated convictions during employment on misdemeanor and/or traffic charge.
Does that have anything to do with us?
Depends,
Well, if we
do they
kept
drive a
getting-
city vehicle?
Yeah. that
Well,
would
even
be-
reported, repeated convictions of, traffic violations, if it was a repeat offender, I guess you would.
Well, after so
Find
many,
out.
wouldn't they take points off your license and then you
You
couldn't
can't
drive a
drive.
city vehicle?
Yeah, but I think, you've got, isn't the nuisance ticket for, property, isn't that a misdemeanor?
Yep, sure is.
Well, convicted, I guess, yeah, not the, yeah.
But you know,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? there's several of those out there that could be considered misdemeanors on that, so I mean, I guess it would be,
They get kicked out.
well, I know that, but you get what I'm trying to pinpoint on that one. So on this one, it would have to be determined by,
Well, they'd have to go to court 5 or 6 times, I guess. That would be a bad reflection on a city employee. I gather that's why
says that.
in there.
So I would just say maybe determined by a city administrator or something on that. Or I guess it wouldn't matter, because it would still
Yeah.
be determined by them. Section 3.
Because, yeah, if we got complaints about a city employee having 10 traffic tickets or speeding tickets or something like that, I mean, it would be the responsibility of the supervisor and the admin,
To stop it.
yeah, to at least give them a warning, you know, be aware of it, yeah.
Stop driving on sidewalks.
That is a bad one to use. I was gonna say, I've driven on this sidewalk a couple times now.
Yeah, well, that's a little street department thing.
They'll get there. They'll get there.
Okay, so all of those 17 items that are gonna turn into ABCs.
Yep, they sent it.
All right.
Related to this shall be followed when a person.
See, City Code Chapter 58, Affirmative Action Plan. Well, we might have to check in to see what Chapter 58 of the City Code is. Unless that was taken from the old book.
Do we have a rehabilitation assistance plan?
Not unless it's in this old book.
What page are you on?
51. It says, unless otherwise
I don't
specified.
have 51.
What are you doing?
I don't have 51. Didn't have
Did we
48.
finish 45?
Do what?
I don't,
Oh, my bad.
I got 45.
I went from 45 to 51.
I went to 52.
I went to 52.
51,
That's 51.
disciplinary issues.
Oh, man, that's a good one, too.
Did
I
we
don't
already
know.
do the
Okay.
testing? That was page 40.
Was that a repeat page?
I don't know.
Let me see.
37 was drug testing policy. Alcohol and control.
All the rest of
Okay,
them.
I guess that's why 46 through 48, 49 was taken out, was because,
They're repeated.
yeah.
So 51 is a repeat?
Yeah.
Rehabilit, oh, wait a minute. Failure to test. 49. Did you have 50 next?
I had 45 to 52.
We have failure to test already.
So that's a
Yeah, drug testing.
disciplinary and coordination with other laws.
Oh, yeah, no, 42 is same as 51.
Okay, so that's a repeat.
Okay, that was my bad, guys. Let me go back.
You're bad.
Let me go back. We have to go back. Hold on.
To 45?
Was it 42?
42.
So, I reread on 42, it says disciplinary issues.
Oh, okay.
Unless otherwise specified in this policy, the city policies related to disciplinary action shall be followed when imposing discipline for violation of this policy. The acceptance by an employee of a rehabilitation assistance plan and contract. That's what I was asking, if we had a rehabilitation assistance plan.
Not to my knowledge,
So we may have to take that out.
or come up with a rehabilitation.
Okay, let me put a question mark.
Here's
That's in the old one.
rehabilitation effort in the old one. Yeah, page 16.
Let me trash that one.
Yeah,
Rehabilitation.
so there is rehabilitation
say who is determined to be in need of assistance with
41.
controlled subject.
I think it's on 41.
Oh, yeah, there's the
41,
rehabilitation effort.
In the
Oh,
original,
41.
that would be in the drug part. Is that right?
Oh, yes, I guess it is.
Yes, it's
Yes.
on page 41.
Yes, it's
Okay.
on page 41.
Okay.
So we're good there.
Yep, never mind.
So 45 then,
It's done.
It's
right?
done. Then you go to 52.
Okay, that's the flow chart.
Dreaded chart. I'm gonna join her in a quick break. Can you take a break? Oh, good, I can stand up.
we're back in. Okay. On this chart, I would like to see all public works departments listed out as electric, sanitation, shop, streets, water, and sewer, and wastewater. I don't know why shop is a separate there. The senior center and the library would be okay because they got the boards that run.
What are you saying, all public works departments is what, did you say?
Electric, sanitation, shop, streets, water and sewer, and wastewater.
Oh, I see what you're
I'm just
saying.
thinking as the funds in the budget.
Water, electric, streets, water, wastewater.
So there would be 6 of them. Shop would be included in Public Works Department.
Why would shops be public works?
Well, because
Isn't
they
that
have
the
to work on
mechanic?
everything, huh?
He's the mechanic though, he doesn't really do
Right,
public
but-
work.
No, but he does work on the public work vehicles.
There's no supervision of the shop whatsoever right now.
He's on his own, he is it. That's why we need can you ask him to send us a report this month on what he did in this year?
Yeah, but adding him to this puts him in that category that he gets the same treatment as the other departments, which is good. Discipline or other,
Yeah,
right? Is that
However,
what you
he has
mean
to
by
write
that,
a
Sherry?
report up every month.
But we don't want him on that because then he would get the 4 hours. Well, yeah.
You can break it down and put electric, sanitation, or electric, water, streets, and wastewater, list those departments out on that 4-hour thing instead of putting public works.
Well, if we define Public Works as those 4, then, well,
I got,
we were only talking about 3.
Well, Shopwood's on its own anyway.
Yeah, shop's not on. Shop needs okay, well,
Could,
because we're talking about our 4-hour thing, then let's back up here. Electric, sanitation,
wastewater.
wastewater, water, and sewer,
Sewer.
streets.
Sanitation's
That's a
not on a
4.
4-hour thing.
so
No,
if
it's
we
not,
did
but-
sanitation and shop together,
Yeah. The ones that's
Well,
not on,
sanitation is, let's see, shop, the shop is under admin, smart gas funding, so.
They're under the city administrator, the senior center, library, parks, airport. Shop,
Pool
fire.
is under the parks. As far as the parks.
Yeah, it's still so you can't require somebody at the shop to write you up a deal that says, I fixed this on Monday, Tuesday, and I fixed this on Wednesday, and I fixed, you know,
From what department, you know?
yeah.
And you've never gotten a department report from the shop?
No,
I
No,
don't think
well,
so.
Because I guess
I've
he
never
doesn't
read one.
consider himself a department.
he used to when, the other guy was down there. Cause then he'd say, helped
And see,
electric
There's
set a pole,
nobody,
you know?
there hasn't been
because he
any
would go with help
supervisor over
electric.
the airport either. For,
do we need one over the airport?
well, all we have is what I call an attendant. He has a business out there in, 1 or 2 of the hangars. He's a mechanic and
we pay him $150 a month,
A month or a week?
a week, I mean.
To pump fuel.
Well, he doesn't, the fuel's an automatic thing, so he doesn't pump the fuel, he's just out there
Well, I
doing
know
the
the
day.
park supervisor used to be over the airport, and that way it was up to them to make sure there was fuel out there. You know, this guy out there let us run out of fuel that one time.
Well, I know this past year, of course, it was Eddie, but right now, there's nobody over the airport except a guy who works out
Okay,
there. And he's
so
not a full-time
the shop
employee,
and the
so-
airport is the only two that does not have supervision, what you would say supervision.
Yeah.
What if we,
The guy at the airport's kind of 2/3 of the time just a volunteer type thing, I believe.
Well, yeah, he's out there because of his business that he's conducting out of.
Well,
Because isn't he the one
Complies with
that's giving
FAA.
lessons?
Huh?
Don't he give pilot lessons? Isn't that his business?
Uh,
Or does he work on
He
airplanes?
works on planes.
Okay.
And, I mean, he's,
I know at
He
one
knows
point
about
there
the-
was talk,
or
I know
at
at
least
one
he's-
point there was talk of somebody doing pilot lessons.
well,
I
it'd
think
be
there is a
big
guy out there that
liability
does
that-
pilot.
for the city if he was doing lessons out there though, so I would hope that he's not, but this is that's a whole department, facility or something that needs to be looked at very closely because and he's told me this, and he's got pictures that some of those hangars are not being used for aeronautical purposes, and that
No,
is against
okay.
FAA regulation.
Yeah, my understanding was that before they did that, what they just got done doing out there, I talked to somebody and they said that should have been taken care of about 2 years ago.
3 years ago.
Maybe 2 or 3 years ago, that was taken care of. They should all be in compliance at
Yes.
this point.
Well,
Because that
they
was in there,
weren't,
that was in there
when he got the
whenever,
pictures to me last year, I guess it was.
well,
And
when I was in there
also,
before, FAA, I think, come down on, when the other mayor was in there, not the past one, but the one before, that was in 21, I think it was. And they come to find out, because the supervisor over it then come to the mayor, and they went out there, and they opened them up. And some people had boats and trailers and four-wheelers stored out there, and they had to give up their hangar or put airplane in there. One of the big guys in the big hangar, he was storing his campers
right,
and stuff in there,
there's cars in there.
but he threw a fit with the mayor because back in the corner, there was an airplane motor sitting there, and he said, so I do have airplane, but they had to clear them all out.
Yeah, well, there's still some of them, in fact, well, I guess if you got an airplane in there, you can store a boat in there, I don't know, but,
Yeah,
you know, the people driving over the new stuff went to get a boat, but anyway,
Well, I say we put the
We've
park
got-
can we change
supervisor.
that to where it's only can be?
Well, FAAs, that's what they say.
there's
Yeah, we
several
have-
things that need to be addressed out
Okay,
there.
so
That's just gonna be
we
a
need-
future thing, but we need to get this chart.
So do we
If there's
need
gonna
to
make any
appoint
changes.
somebody as a supervisor or get a
Well, the
supervisor for
parks
those two?
supervisor used to be, airport supervisor.
Yeah, but we still gotta get somebody for shop too. Somebody needs to be supervisor over the shop to keep an eye on what's going on there.
Well,
and
that's the
what's going
city admin's, administrator's job.
yeah, but what do you do about
Overall,
our emergency management person? Where do they fall?
Yeah, we have an emergency management and we have a floodplain director.
I think the emergency management,
They just need to go right up there by the city administrator.
Yes.
Both of them are right there.
yes.
The EMR and floodplain.
Okay,
And that's one question. We need to ask these applicants too, if they have any experience in emergency management. Because if the one that we've got resigns or quits and has to move and,
that's
Well, and really that
see,
fire
him and the-
department, really the emergency management and the floodplain manager works with the fire department.
Right, that's what I was here to say. It was always the fire department before, until this person came along, and that person, bingo. And I mean, they've really done a heck of a job out there. And so my thing is this, is the fire chief ought to know what is required there.
because he's worked with him, he already learned
We can
something.
just put fire department and then put the EMR and the FPM in that same box. That's the department, is this what? But we still, if public works is going to be defined as the electric, the streets, water, and wastewater, then we're gonna need to put sanitation out here, but sanitation is definitely a public works department.
Well, I think that should really include all, because in that, when we was doing the comp time, we said public safety works. And the safety is, you know, make sure the water and electric and water and
Oh, it says
wastewater.
public safety, not
Safety.
public works.
Right.
Because, you know, in a bigger place, there would be a city administrator, but then there would be a director of public works
Right.
that would be over all of these.
Right,
So all public works departments then is going to include
the streets
the
and the,
electric, sanitation, really the shop, streets, water, and
Right.
wastewater then.
So that would,
Right.
I mean, the city admin's gonna be all over them, but
so that leaves
shop
the
should be
airport.
a department really by itself is.
But if we were going to figure it out, who would we put over shop?
Yeah, that's just it.
Who works, or who does he work on more vehicles for?
The police department. I'd say, but that won't work.
I don't think you could put
I
a
think
department
you
over them,
just-
because then they're gonna feel like that they get their stuff
No,
done
that
first.
would not work. That's, better leave that separate there. So I guess the pool under the parks and then
Question,
leave the
could we
airport for right now.
Could we, just a thought, combine sanitation over shop? And make the
I would say-
sanitation guy?
I don't think
I
we
don't-
should have any department over
No,
shop, because
he works on every
everybody's,
department in there.
Then maybe if we, I mean, yes.
he's just under the city administrator, have to,
It'll just have to be the reports
right,
through the city admin,
no.
so, okay.
And if you're gonna lump those all together, you're gonna have to list out, not put public works on
Well,
call.
we
You're gonna
know,
have to
we
list
just
out
know
which
now
ones
that
are
public
listed.
works means them all.
Yeah,
I was just
but you
thinking
don't
too,
want all,
maybe with
you don't
shop.
want all those people on call.
Well,
No,
like she was
airport
saying,
would
in where we were working on the comp time, it said public safety works instead of just all public works. So that could be the differentiate on the
Because
ones that
electric
get
is
the comp time.
safety, water safety, wastewater is safety, you know, they have to be up to par.
Okay, so I guess back here, then they don't even have to be listed out. It's only, all public works department is everybody but these that are listed here, correct?
Right.
Okay, so scratch all that. Add the EMR and the FMR too.
But streets,
What?
do we have streets listed out back there?
You mean with the,
Water,
Public works.
electric.
on time?
Yeah, they was on call, yeah, didn't they? Call back.
Yeah, they wasn't on the 4-hour thing, they was on the 1 hour.
Right, they was on call back.
Well, we've got the on-call, the 4 hours.
So it's not the public works, it's electric, sewer and water, and wastewater, and streets, we were gonna leave the 4 hours on call. So that would be the
No,
public
no, we was
works.
gonna put streets on callback, 1 hour.
No,
No,
we went
because
ahead
we
and did
didn't-
it,
Oh, okay,
so we didn't have to change
Address
all
the
that other
season.
stuff.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, those 4 are the public works then. So then we should have sanitation and shop.
Yeah, we don't even have sanitation down here, so
No,
they
because
just.
that's always been included under public works.
Right,
Which it really is. but-
So on the on-call duty and callback compensation, it says, as a condition of employment, public safety and public works department employees are required to serve in an on-call duty status.
So, public safety and public works.
And didn't, I think you said it last time we were talking about it, public safety would be considered police department, fire department, correct? So we're
And
in,
public works department,
is considered all
so
of
that's
this.
the other 4. So we've got shop and sanitation. We need sanitation, a box for sanitation.
Yes.
Yes. And where is police department?
That's the police chief, it should be the police department over to the right.
Oh, I see it now.
Yeah.
Okay, so sanitation is going to have its own.
Yeah, and really, we can move that airport down and put the pool underneath the parks.
And then the
And that
public,
should cover it.
public works is going to be electric, streets, water, wastewater, correct?
And water and sewer.
That's the wastewater in there, or no?
No,
Water and sewer and wastewater.
Or two
There's
different?
water and, yeah, water and sewer is one department, and wastewater is another department.
Yeah, so you got electric, streets, water and sewer, and wastewater. That's the 4.
I just have it flavored water, so,
And then the shop. So sanitation and shop will be the other 2.
So you're gonna put sanitation in the shop?
No, sanitation be a separate box by itself, just like the shop
And
is.
then pools has got a box by itself.
you know, pool goes in parks.
Oh, but we're putting that in that box?
Parks.
Well, it would be a line down to the pool, I would say, and then
Parks,
move
yeah.
airport on down.
Okay, so we do have
Put a
pools in
pool
there.
where the airport is, but it's a line from parks down to the pool. And
Okay,
then the airport would leave as by itself also for right now.
okay.
Okay.
Along with the library, the senior center?
Yeah. Now, there needs to be on here, under the senior center, or city administrator, it's got human resources over there, but that should be really city hall, because city admin will be human resources.
So city hall.
But the city clerk,
Needs to be
City clerk
over
is-
city hall.
I'm floating out here.
She is directly under the board of aldermen.
And over city hall.
yes,
I think she needs to be over city hall.
she should be supervisor, that's what they said up there.
And then city administrator.
City administrator and city clerk both
Is that
over
right?
city hall.
No.
And I think
Okay.
that's a motor from back there.
Who's gonna be the city administrator is a human resource, but the city clerk is supervisor over the city hall clerks.
So then the city,
And the city administrator isn't?
well, the city
Well, then he's
administrator would
over
be
her,
the supervisor of
The city
her
clerk,
and all the other ones.
and all the other ones is underneath her.
But the city clerk
If you
is,
do,
elected by the Board of Aldermen.
Right.
So that's why that's always been separate.
But if you do the city administrator over city hall, then they have the capability of hiring everybody, where if you have the city clerk over,
She's the protector.
yes.
That's
And
just
that's
like the
when
city administrator.
comes
Where,
to-
how do you want the box to look then?
City clerk, and then underneath her is, city hall.
And then the city administrator connects with city clerk, and then us up top, and then the bottom ones.
Now, the line from city clerk are to go up to alderman, up to the line that comes down from all the aldermen. And
This one goes,
because that's just like supervisor over water or electric, the city administrator is over them supervisors. But the city administrator does not need to be over city hall, that city clerk, because she's gonna protect them city hall workers. He has to go through the city clerk to have a say-so over them. Just like he would any of the supervisors over the public works or senior center or library or whatever.
they discussed it a little bit in the,
MML, yeah.
Okay, so the human resource box,
the city hall.
but under the city clerk.
Yes.
So, and the city administrator has
Is,
Well, I would put the,
no supervisor, or no supervision over the city clerk.
yeah, he's over he's like, he's over the supervisor of streets or,
Well, then the city clerk should be in the box where human resources is.
right. And then under her should
Okay,
be
so
city
that's
hall.
a line from City Hall. And then a line down from the board to the city clerk. Like this, can you guys see this? City administrator over to city clerk and down to city clerk. Then there needs to come down here and City Hall box be in here. Not connected to anybody else. Or we could just put City Hall over here.
and yeah, because that wasn't connected initially.
No, but it would be up here.
No, it could
Yeah,
just
so
go
this would be
from
pushed
city
on down one.
administrator to city clerk, and then where it says city clerk, but city hall is underneath the clerk.
Go through that way. Just go sideways.
Yeah, why not?
And I would suggest you move the mayor's box up a little, leave her line connected, and put the police chief beside her up there. So you're not going through everything to get to the police chief. See how it's kind of got that line through it? That gets it kind of confused.
Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't even find it because I was going
So
down
he
through
actually,
underneath.
they need to actually be under the mayor, you said?
Yeah, the police just put it under
underneath
the
it.
mayor, but I
Yeah.
put the police box
Well,
up
you don't
there,
want to
so
put it
it's.
up there because then it would be up above the line of the alderman. So that's just direct over here, the same way as the judge, because these are appointed, the judge
Right.
and the city
Oh,
attorney.
okay.
It
That really
really,
needs to stay like it is.
yeah, it stays down there because all of those is appointed.
Okay. And did, probably have to go back to your notes, did you all confirm about the, I know the pay scale and the matrix, the classification?
Yeah.
Did you have any questions on that? Or,
They haven't,
I don't know
we
if we
haven't got a
finished
salary
that.
for the
We
police
didn't
chief
finish
or
it.
the
We just
fire
wanted
chief,
to-
either one.
we was gonna discuss that, and then we run out of time, remember? What did we do with it?
Police chief, the fire chief, and the city administrator, we didn't have a salary level or a,
Okay, I'm sorry, before we even do that, we can finish this.
Yeah,
Go on to page 53, Vito. I
The
don't think
rest
there's
of it is
anything
just-
because that's a state statute.
Yeah.
the rest of these is just,
Probationary, yeah, I don't. There may be a couple of them that.
Okay,
for
on this
the
one
age
right here,
requirement.
on the 57, does that need to be changed to city ad? Or city ad added to that?
Anytime my supervisor may request to the mayor or board to revoke this request if said job interviews, oh, is that outside employment?
Yeah. it's
yeah,
outside
well, that
employment.
does go through the mayor and the city council.
oh,
And
this
we
needs
could
to be
add-
combined onto one
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Because I think it has to,
Yeah, it
Do
needs
we
to
need
be.
to put the city administrator in on that one too, or what?
I think
well, outside
leave it.
employment, what do we say? I don't know what page that is.
I don't
It's
remember
probably
what it was, but we said that had to be approved by the mayor and the city council.
Yeah, I think that we would be better off leaving it off
Just
because then
leaving it
that's too
off?
much.
Okay.
You have to go through 3 different people to approve an outside job.
Yeah.
A lot of them probably have outside jobs.
No.
It's on 22 in the old book.
22. Oh, that's the request though, but there was something about outside on page 6
6.
in the old book.
It cannot interfere with your,
Oh.
It says 6.
no
Yeah,
full-time
it is. It's
employment
on
in City Hall
6.
shall accept
Yes, it
outside
starts.
employment.
It says outside employment, see appendix B, but it's 1.170 on page 6. It's the third one up from the bottom.
No employment shall engage in or accept private employee or render any service for private interest.
Because this says written approval from the mayor, that's it.
Yeah, and we added city council to that.
For the outside employment,
Mm-hmm. Wherever it was back over here in the new one.
And then page 14 of the new one.
13?
Or 13.
14, secondary employment. And we put on there approval from the mayor and the city council.
Yeah, it's at the bottom of 14,
Uh-huh.
over in
Have
15.
you got it wrote in
well,
there?
this just still says mayor unless,
I've got wrote on there slash city council.
And then also at the end of its annual review with
Yeah.
evaluation.
Right.
You all discussed in that, that if they had to get permission from the city council, person might be offered a job today, and city council meeting is for 3 weeks. So that's why you decided to leave it mayor.
you wanna make it admin slash mayor?
No, they'd be in the office.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll change that to admin. Mayor slash admin.
Admin or admin and.
Admin and mayor.
Admin, so not slash, admin and mayor.
I'm gonna have to change that.
Admin and mayor on page 14 and 15.
And add another line on here.
And then on the form itself, what,
57.
That's why I asked that, because it said request to the mayor and/or board of aldermen to revoke. So I don't know, is that to dismiss them?
to the
No,
No, this is for a second job.
approval of
Okay.
the secondary job.
So that needs to go along with what y'all just said?
Mayor and admin.
Admin So I think this is ready for next grant.
Last page, last page, last
I
page.
think that's good.
And the mayor said we wouldn't have
It's
this
just-
done till the end of the year.
The signing of it.
Yeah, it's a signing of it. I
Oh, it's not in an ordinance yet.
Y'all did good at the end
We've
of
done
that,
our
we gotta do
part.
this part.
It's the last page.
I don't have it.
It's a acknowledgement of receipt of personal policy manual.
And
This will have to be
This is
reviewed
where
by
they
legal.
get
and
there was
Oh,
those
my
good
goodness.
things she had to look
What
over.
is this?
There's a little bit.
Yeah, but the
At least we got through
big part's over.
Lord have
Okay.
mercy.
it. Now back to that. See if there's anything
Oh. I just found these, I gotta give these to y'all.
Oh, don't find
That's not
anything
it.
else. She's finding us some pride.
Did you get all of the,
concerning
There they
the
are.
policy?
Concerning the, background checks.
Oh, and that's part of this thing.
Background checks.
And that goes in our book too, don't it?
Right now, we do them through the Max, and this is, Megan is the lady from Max. We do the name-based one, so basically I put their name, their social security number, and the birth date in, and get back a report. And it's turned up a few things on people, you know, little minor things, but it's not real detailed like an FBI report. She suggests we do the fingerprint-based one, which is gonna be $50 compared to what I'm paying now is $15. So it's up to y'all if you want that fingerprint search, or if you wanna leave it as a name search.
and what's the difference in the price?
$15 for the name, $45 for the fingerprint. Plus, you're gonna have to have them fingerprinted somewhere. I'm not sure what all that's gonna entail.
And what are we doing now?
Names. I put in their name, social, birth date, and I get back things.
Well, my problem with the fingerprint is if they've never been fingerprinted and they're in the system,
Yeah.
Then you don't get anything.
then you don't get nothing
And you're
back on
signing.
them regardless.
Yeah, and we are getting, I mean, the criminal background check is what shows up.
Yeah.
Together, that's the,
I've been fingerprinted repeatedly
Alright.
because I was a school bus driver and they make you.
Are we gonna put this on the July agenda, so,
no, it needs to be part of the.
It's part of this manual.
oh, gotcha.
I think we leave it with where we're at right now. If we
Okay.
start getting to a point where we feel like we need to change it, then we can change it to the fingerprint. But
Where is the background?
Yeah, we just thought we'd just get a consensus on.
Yeah,
I think
because
it always says it's
there's
subject
people
to a
that's been
background check. It
fingerprinted
doesn't
and
say
they're not in the database
Yeah.
anywhere.
yeah,
So, yeah. We'll just,
Yeah, I think it just says submitting to it, so
Okay, so it doesn't need anything on, okay.
we're doing what we're doing.
All right, so anything on the classifications? Did you need any more answers before?
We need to figure out police chief, fire chief, and city administrator, what you want the salary range, the bottom and top and steps and all that.
Okay, so you can type it up though, what we currently have. Yeah. I think. So that we
Y'all had said something, I hadn't had time to do it, about me calling. Are there certain cities that you think would be comparable to where we should be with our ranges? Like Willow or
But
Houston?
we did find out that the police has a cap, correct?
yeah.
And
in
Janie's
that-
little thing.
That's in this, yes.
I would say stick with the smaller ones. I don't know about Houston, because we already have an idea on them, I believe. But I would say Willow,
Kabul.
Kabul,
Thayer.
there.
yeah, there's about,
They're kind of like we are, I think they're struggling too, or have been for years.
Thayer's about as comparable as we are.
Yeah.
yeah.
On
Okay, I'll just
What
pull
we
them and kind of
currently
arrange.
show for the police chief was ending or cap is 39,
Yeah.
so I guess we can use that. Okay, is there anything else about the personnel manual or the classification pay scale?
Do you want,
Descriptions or,
on that pay scale, do you all want there to be a certain, like when they get their CDL, you used to give them 50-cent raise, do you want something like that on there?
Anytime they get certified on something, they get a 50-cent, and that's kind of the way it is now, isn't it, Sherry?
Yeah.
Should have
Except I know,
What?
I've said before, he was promised and never got it.
I know,
Well,
I heard that too.
so,
Well, we
He
can't
was
help what
promised $1.
happened then, but
Yeah, I
we
know.
can change
That's
it
what I'm
now
saying,
and make
is
it
we put
right
it on,
from here
yeah.
on out.
Yeah.
So what are we gonna do, any
Certification.
certification?
Job-related certification?
Yes.
Do we want to go with 50, or are we going to go with the hours? According to what, I think on CDLs, we did 50 cents, and on, like, water license and stuff like that, it was like $1, wasn't it?
on the water license thing, it hasn't come up, so I wouldn't know, but,
No, I'm just saying, when they got
it
a,
would be required, wouldn't it, required? Because,
Certification.
yeah, because you could go out and go to classes
Yes,
on your
yes.
own and get all kinds of
Right,
certifications. but-
yeah, required
Something that's
hours.
required for that department
Yeah, something
specifically?
that the city required.
Required
Classification.
/ job-related
Like for streets, you would
certification.
have to have a CDL.
Right.
For sanitation, you would have to have a CDL.
For certain positions, yes,
Positions,
but
yes.
not for all of them.
What, if we require that
Yeah,
certification,
that's,
city required certifications, then,
then they get,
I mean, you're gonna have to base it off of what certification it is then. Because if CDL is only 50 cents and you're doing water license, for some reason, if we have to do a water license, wouldn't that be more valuable?
that's what I'm saying, that's what
Yeah.
CDL, 50 cents, and water license, or whatever Johnny and them has to have down there, you know, any kind of chemical.
But then again,
Permits,
like with the
it's $1.
probation for the police department, it's what, 50 cents? They're starting at 20.50 and then going to it
go to
21.
21, yeah, that's what they've got in their
Yeah.
little book here. But just like,
We're paying for their,
the,
I don't think it's gonna be more, they said this.
there was a chemical certification that was required, so,
for who?
The golf course, the
supervisor, so.
supervisor and groundskeeper.
But I know that that,
Did he get those one?
You got one.
but that was also part of the requirement to
Right.
be,
Supervisor.
but that's, yeah, so.
Greenskeeper.
But that's why it's almost gonna have to be more specific, you know, because
Right.
Let us think about how we're gonna do that.
Okay.
Okay?
I'll put a note on it when I give it back to you saying needed.
and maybe it should have.
Do what?
Nothing was said about any increase when he got that certification. And maybe there should have been, that's, I know we're talking specifics here,
Well,
but we need to get specific on some of these things.
it's a job description.
Well, I think we required, didn't you ask him about if he had that and kind of required him to get it? Didn't we?
Well, that came up well after the fact.
Well, yeah, because that one guy that was running around, what did he tell me? I talked to him one day, he was going to Mountain Grove and charging them $600 or $800 a day to go up there to Mountain Grove to spray, because he had his,
Right.
nobody up at Mountain Grove had their license, and he was going up there doing it. and then somebody finally got their license for spraying. What he was spraying, I have no clue, but
Well,
I don't know.
like the day they had to spray for mold, golf course is very touchy. If you get too much rain, you have to spray for the mold. If you get too dry, then you gotta spray for the crabgrass and everything.
Yeah.
that's coming in.
But I don't know.
I mean, I would say we need to look into it.
Well, yeah,
'Cause if it
you
was-
need to come up with a list of what certifications that the city
Yeah,
requires for every department
Right.
that we do have to pay for.
Yes.
Okay, I'm calling for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
I
Hey, at least we got the book. We got the